would be far greater and a lot easier.
All right, welcome back to State of the Union. That was President Trump calling on Iran to make peace after authorizing a strike on the country's 3 nuclear sites. Our panel is here now. Welcome to all of you. Thank you for being here. Scott Jennings, I actually want to start with you. You've spent time with President Trump in recent months. He had come out late last week and said that he would decide within 2 weeks. And then we saw events unfold very quickly from there. What can you help us understand about the president's decision-making process here? Because certainly, I think there are many in MAGA world who may have been surprised that he did this. But tell us what you know. Why would you be surprised? I mean, Donald Trump has been clear-eyed and full of resolve about the Iranian threat for 20 years. He has always said you can't have peace if Iran has a nuclear weapon. And I would also say that my observations of him over the last few months are that things are running quite smoothly over in the White House and at the Pentagon. Look what happened. The deception that was involved here, no leaks, the resolve, the precision, execution. We have a commander-in-chief right now who is decisive and who knows how to operate a government and operate a military operation with absolute precision. The level of deterrence that this will put throughout the world, that our enemies should be perceiving, is very, very high. This is a great day for this president, and it's a great day for the world because he's making us safe for Western civilization.
Well, I think there are a lot of questions here. First of all, why did Trump, the whole reason why we're in this situation is because he withdrew from the nuclear deal in the first place. And now he's trying to bring Iran back to the table, and they wouldn't do that, and so he decided to move forward with these strikes. But this was his doing in the first place. Obama had a deal. He withdrew from it. He withdrew from the deal, and now he's trying to get back into something very, very similar. The second piece of this is I think there's two real questions about where are we going next. Whether or not this is going to lead into a war, and whether or not, and Iran has already indicated that they do plan on retaliating, and Trump has said and threatened that he will then escalate as well. And I think the third question is a legal part of this, which is whether this was constitutional and whether or not they needed approval from Congress.
Yeah, look, Casey, we're clearly in the new Middle East right now, and there are so many unanswered questions to Sochi's point. And I will say I agree with this entirely. Look, Donald Trump got out of the Iran nuclear deal, which was verifiably preventing this exact moment from happening. Now he owns it. This is his decision. We could not tolerate, I will say, we could not tolerate Iran's nuclear program where it was right now. And it was a courageous decision. And thank goodness we have the military that we have to execute, as Scott said, the way it did. But now we're in this new Middle East, and these questions need to be answered. Congress needs to start asking harder questions, and we need to know how our forces will be protected.
Rebecca, you obviously an expert on security policy. When you think about the Iranians and what they are potentially looking at doing next, what is the calculus there? I mean, we're just talking with John Bolton about this. I mean, what do you expect, and what are the risks to the U.S. from that?
Well, the Iranian regime is severely militarily wounded. So I think part of the calculation for President Trump was, are we going to have clear air superiority if the United States is going to go in and directly involve itself militarily? The Israelis provided that for us. They took out a lot of the Iranian launchers. They took out a lot of the Iranian air defenses. And so Iran is extremely vulnerable. I mean, you saw General Kane even say that the United States, when we launched this air campaign, there was no indication that the Iranians even saw us. There was no attempt to even shoot down anything that the United States was doing. So I think if you were going to see some kind of defensive action on the part of Iran, you would have already seen it by now. A couple options they have. There's about 40,000 U.S. troops deployed in the Middle East. Clearly, Iran's going to try to threaten them like they did after President Trump took out Soleimani during his first term. But that attack was essentially a failure when the Iranians tried that as well. Or they could threaten to close down the Strait of Hormuz. But that, of course, comes with severe consequences. If the United States has all of the momentum, it would be a dire mistake for the Iranians to try that, because I think the response from the United States would be overwhelming and successful.
This, of course, is splitting both parties. We touched on yours, Scott, but Sochi, Congressman Josh Gottheimer posted this on X. He says this, quote, "Tonight, the United States took critical and decisive action to protect America. This is not a Democratic or Republican issue. Dealing with the Iranian threat is central to America's national security."